Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. This is a new kind of experimental version of Sleep With Me we've never done before. So welcome. These are just bedtime stories from our podcast, Sleep With Me. And to make them feel fresh, these ones are from a couple of years ago. So if you're a regular listener, you might get a refresh. And if you're new, these are just bedtime stories from a show called Sleep With Me. They're strange, they're meandering, they're a little bit different. And all this is made possible by listeners like you, regular listeners like you. And so I just want to let you know that's how we're able to put the show out. And so if you are a fan of Sleep With Me, you listen to it on a regular basis, please consider supporting the show. You get ad-free episodes, you get ad-free story-only episodes, tons of other cool stuff at Sleep With Me Plus. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. But if you're in a position and you have some money every month, or you say, hey, maybe I don't watch that streaming service, I'd rather give it to a podcast, think about your favorite podcast. It doesn't have to be Sleep With Me, and support that podcast. If it is Sleep With Me, I consider supporting the show would be great. But if it isn't, or there's a podcast you listen to way more, brings you a lot of value during the day, please support that podcast. Podcasting is going through a different time right now, and your favorite podcast, the one you get the most out of, could use your support the most. So consider supporting it however they request support. Just check it out, like listen to the show or check out their website, or consider supporting Sleep With Me. If Sleep With Me, you say, oh no, Sleep With Me is the one I listen to the most, sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster. Whether you're on a train to the good place, to Slumber Town, or the medium place, or you say, Scoots, I'm in a great place, I'm in bed, or it's about to get a lot better. As soon as you go off topic and start rambling, and as soon as I can stop listening to you, oh boy, are things going to get cozy in here. And I say, great, that's great. I'm glad. Thanks, regular listener. But if you're a new listener, you might be confused, concerned and confused. Conferred. No, that's already a word. And I just rhymed. And you know what rhymes with conferred is, it was something that would rate the quality of my rhymes. It starts with a T and ends with T-U-R-D. For everybody out there that needs a giggle. If you need more giggles or something just, not quite that engaging, you're in the right place. It's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. This is a quick message here. If you get a lot out of Sleep With Me, if you're a regular listener, you like these new things we're trying out, like the story-only version of the show. If you're new, don't worry about any of this. But if you're a regular listener of Sleep With Me, or you're a regular listener of any podcast, if you have a favorite podcast, and it's not Sleep With Me, that's totally cool. If you have podcasts you listen to way more, or you get way more value out of, I totally understand that. Consider supporting that podcast. Podcasting as an industry is kind of going through a weird phase right now. Direct support from listeners is going to be, it seems like it's going to be the future of most shows. And so consider supporting the podcast you really love. And you could do that. You could find out, you could listen to the show and see how they ask to be supported, or reach out to them and say, hey, how can I support you? Or if you can't afford, a few dollars a month, you say, hey, how else can I support you? But if Sleep With Me is the one, Sleep With Me Plus is the best way to support Sleep With Me. Sign up for Sleep With Me Plus. Not only you get an unbelievably sweet, different ways to listen to the show, but it's a huge help for us to be able to do stuff like this. But yeah, think about what your favorite podcast is, and then go ahead and go to their website, or if you already know how they like to be supported, support that show. Thanks and good night. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about Season 2, Episode 4, Existential Crises. And it opens with, I got an actual perfect pause on this one. I'm seeing the back of Michael's desk, the back of his office chair, really nice office chair. And I just happened to pause it at the right time, facing away from whoever would be Michael's guest. We have a dragonfly. We have that flower thing that it doesn't look like it's a candy bowl. The desk set, we know who's there because I already watched the episode a bunch of times. It's Vicky. She's facing the book that's open on the stand. And she's going to put her feet up on the desk, according to my notes, and then chair facing her. Michael's in the chair facing her. Does he have a book in his lap? Question mark. Plaid shirts, tie with circles, hands in reports. Page mix with Pikachu. That's not what that says. One page, my with Pikachu. Winston and Gunnar are there. They have some sort of plan. Eleanor, Janet, Jansen seems not so bad. So basic. Something else I can't read. Chapter 18, Coast is clear. Let's see what actually happens. Vicky spins, puts her feet up on the desk. She's pretty confident. It looks like there was a Trojan horse also on. Michael says humans don't suspect anything. Yeah, Vicky says because we're doing such a great job. Sure are, Michael says. Here's my ideas for here's my report. Oh, Vicky says too long. From now on, your memos are one page max with pictures. Quentin over here, he's got a new idea for Tahani. We're going to have a good birthday party for Gunnar. And it's going to be better than her party while she has one. Michael's like, wow, you're incredible. I think there's flowers on Michael's tie, not circles. Now he's talking to Tahani and Jason. They say, it doesn't seem so bad. They have basic ideas. And then he's complaining about their working. Everybody's been working for 1,000 years, or at least they have. The episode opens. Oh, he uses millennial. That's why. Then we're in Ethics 101. Cheaty's writing on the board. And they say, what should we call you? What sort of supreme, semi-supreme being? Cheaty's ready for the first lesson. Tahani and Jason aren't there because they're working with Michael says, I don't like your syllabus. It doesn't do it for me. And she just goes, we have to start somewhere. And Michael's really throwing shade on humans. Oh, boy. I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to be goofy, and I have fingers. Oh, boy, is that silly. Proceed. Tahani and Jason are setting up a party. Now, this was pretty cool. I didn't notice it at this moment, but later, so I'll tell you now. I'll probably tell you again because I'll forget. This is in a hotel lobby of a hotel, or not the lobby. I guess you'd call it the lower lobby or the room. I don't know. I guess it's called like a room. And I think it's probably a restaurant. Maybe I saw people eating breakfast or lunch there. But I was at this hotel for a conference. They didn't actually, I don't think they had any events in this room. They had them in a room off of this room. I did make a phone call from this room. I did look at it because it's very spectacular. And I have a pen from the hotel. I was there for a podcast conference of all things. It's in downtown L.A. Can't remember what it's called. Millennium Hotel. I think, or maybe that's who owns it. I don't know. I forgot, and I didn't look it up. But I've been to this hotel. It's in downtown L.A., and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conference. But anyway, so they're setting up for the party. You're best at having parties, Jason says. Oh, yeah, my notes. You're right. I got to go through that. I'm not good at much. Kitchen Professor Cheedy. Ethics 101. Michael's a jerk. Party set up. I am the best. Oh, so she does take Jason's words to heart. Then we have Eleanor and Cheedy. Porthole. Windbag. To GEP. GREP. G-R-E-P coach. Grip coach. Retirement. Third about that. Think about that for a second. He takes his glasses off. Oh. He does a double face touch to a run he does a monk. What's that? Monk, the person with their hands on their face. Monk, M-U-N-C-H, Then he goes into the fetal position in maybe Chidi's lap. We'll see in a second. Then there's an ad. Say you're having an existential crisis. First step, or shell, okay, Camus, snack, Cool Ranch, fleeting nature, flashback, Eleanor, Thunderbats, on two cushions. Oh, was she watching Thundercats? Her house is nice. Lots of cactus in her house. Cheetos, I think, is what Eleanor has in a bowl. There's a basket with all the remotes, so I'm supposed to pause it there. So let's run it. Got Jason and Tahani talking. Her hands are on her hip. Belgian, avant-garde Belgian floral designs. She have no more than that. So what if I throw a party so amazing that it's better than the party that's supposed to win? And then they'll realize they missed my party. And Jason just nods. And she goes, I swore to uphold the hostess code. I, Tahani Al-Jamil, will do my level best to make every event too much. Let's do my 2008 fundraiser from Zurich. No, 2007, even better. And Janet loves it. Tahani, there's a zoom on her laughing. Michael's ripping out books, ripping out pages from a book. Eleanor's like, I'm the best student. Like, and she goes, this isn't your fault, Chidi. Yeah, he's not a good person. That's a problem. And then Chidi says, no, Michael he's immortal. So how's he supposed to find out about being human if he doesn't have consequences for his actions? Oh, yeah, I was talking about the porthole because the porthole looks like it looks in on a breakfast nook that I've not identified. It could be Eleanor's bedroom, or like another lounge area. She goes, isn't it weird that pants have two legs? Why don't they have no legs? And she goes, a skirt? So Michael's chilling. And they say, Michael, is there a big farm for you? He goes, yeah, early or retirement. Because if you really make a mistake, you get retired. And it's not great. Involves a ladle and molecules. So ladle that does molecules and a sun. And both their arms are crossed. Michael's hands on his knee. Chidi has one of those webbed belts I had like in 4th grade. I don't even know if I had one. Maybe it's not a web belt. Maybe it's like what is that called? Something. But anyway, what about emptiness, nothingness? Well, think about that for a while, Michael. And this is some great Ted Danson acting. He's able to change his things. He says, so that would be it. I'd be big farm is like that. I'd be de-existed like in those books. He's munking his face and rubbing it. Chidi opens his arms with joy. And then he has to fall over into Chidi's lap as he's kind of accepting. And Chidi goes, we're getting somewhere now. Oh, boy. You betcha. And he goes, this is good. It's an existential crisis. That's what people go through, when we think about he goes, we can work through this. Eleanor's like, I don't know. First step towards understanding ethics, or it won't work out, Chidi says. And then he goes, Eleanor, let me talk. Oh, let me go grab some Camus. And she says, how you doing? She rubs his head. Can I get you a snack? What do you eat? Cool Ranch? I don't know. And he goes, I'm searching for meaning. Fleeting nature of existence. Eleanor says, it's easy. He goes, once you think it's not a big deal, when you learn about it as a kid. So then they go to her house as a kid. Nice rug and everything. Her mom comes in. Max, your dog, is now living on the farm, so that's great news. Running free, Rainbow Bridge, everything, and really enjoying things. Beautiful Rainbow Bridge, beautiful, really nice apartment at her house. I said, this place is gorgeous. Mom has wine in a straw, two remotes, and a couple other things in one of the baskets. There's another remote on the table. And let's see, like magazines. Everything's very neat. She's sitting or kneeling on two big pillows as close to the TV as possible. It is also Phoenix style because there's like a little bit of a southwestern feel and all the cactus, I guess. Young Eleanor is in maybe Oshkosh Bagosh. She's in what do you call that thing? What is that called? Corduroy overalls in a coral color. And then a striped shirt. She has a turquoise hair clip or whatever barrette that matches her the stripe, one of the stripes on her shirt. And then we go to Tahani's party. This is, I think, when I realized I've been in that room before because Tahani's on the second floor, kind of balcony. And I said, I stood up there and looked in this room. And they say, okay, Michael, he's stressed. Jason says, oh, I've been through that, man. You'll be okay. Philosophy, too much philosophy. And we got to cheer him up. Even Eleanor says ennui, which we looked up a couple of years ago. And I saw it. I said, I still don't know what that word is or how to spell it, but now I do. It's like, it looks like some sort of herding animal, Nenuui or something. You see, is that like one of those like furry yaks? That's another kind of yak, right? Ennui. And they say, okay. And then Tahani's like, this party's going to be jumping soon unless I'm sorely mistaken. Then we go to Gunner's birthday party. There's a giraffe, Build-A-Bear, fireworks, plumes. They sit Michael down. They say, stay calm, repress things. Ice sculpture, put on a fake smile, like when people, talk about their kids. Welcome to the party. We got like flying stuff, playing around with animals, really cool things, falcons. Ball pit, puppy pit, where you can just lie around with puppies. And if you ever want to sit in a kangaroo pouch, Jason goes, my whole dang life. And he goes, this is a great party. I got to go. And they go, Tahani, you look miserable with this party. Just like that. Perfect. Where's Michael? Oh, boy. Then Michael pulls up in a Ferrari. And he's dressed kind of like he would be in Miami Vice. And he's acting all cool. Like, so a white suit with like kind of a linen and a turquoise and linen shirt that maybe we'll see a season or two later on Cheaty in a different circumstance. And then Janet has changed to Jeanette. She's supposed to laugh at Michael's jokes and be, pretend she's not the most competent, intelligent being on the, in the existence. And how many quarterbacks, she's a lot of good jokes. And I'm like, because this repression is awesome. He's dancing around. His hair's loose. Like acting like he had too much Red Bull, which I think even comes up. Cut to a commercial. He's showing his earring. I forgot that he had an earring. And Eleanor goes, yeah, this is a pretty standard thing in Arizona. This is kind of a midlife thing. Tattoo. She goes, no, this is worse. If this is like absurdity and either you confront it or you're in denial. A Jenga tower of sadness. And Eleanor goes, he's pretty fragile. He's only been around, he's only realized it for a few minutes. Then they zoom on Eleanor. She goes, she's saying her dad, she's with her date, and she's saying bye-bye to her father. Let me hop back to my notes, though. Ennui bowl, big bowl of ennui, burner toner, philosophy, high five. Been in that hotel. Happy birthday, Gunner. Michael has balloons, animals, flying, puppy pits, kangaroo pouch, my whole life. Great. Ferrari, white suit, turquoise shirt, Jeanette, still me. Earring, repressing your feelings, Ray-Bans, talking earrings, midlife, no denial, Jenga Tower. Eleanor and Dad, date, something, Mom and wine straw. Doug, very beardy. Not a roast, not sad. I'm fine. Pause, other guest. I guess I got to pause it for other guests. So let's see. Eleanor and her boyfriend are talking. Mommy's here. Yeah, so we got not a great view, but on one side, we got one, two. A lot of the guests are in shorts. Maybe I was supposed to pause it on something else. I don't see anything super unique here. Who's this tall drink of wine? It's my boyfriend, Sam. Sam, this is my sister, Mom says. Her purse clashes with her skirts. And she's not really, Mom's not behaving appropriately. F-A-R-T in the shape of a man. And she's like, yeah, how this is my shining moment. And some of the guests are looking at her like clutching one another. The mom, like, oh my goodness, high five. She tries to hold his hand. She slips him her room key. And she goes, holy cow. And then we go back to the party. Good. Vicky says, thanks for coming to Gunner's party. Bit of a mix-up. I guess Tahani also had a birthday party at the restaurant, so that's helpful. We could head over there. And Tahani says, this party's better. I say, I'm sure yours is good, but she goes, my decor is pretty good, but I don't have actual unicorns. Unicorn comes through. It's got a lit-up horn, and when it touches the ground, wherever its clops hit, there's rainbow circles. Michael wants to make a toast. He goes, oh boy, makes some speech about existence and not thinking it. Like he goes, focus on something great like Dracar Noir, which I'm wearing, or a sharper image. What can't they ionize? Giraffe's still walking around in the background. And he goes, let's all talk about our favorite cheeses. Jason raises his hand. Vicky goes, what's going on with you? And he goes, oh, no, I've given in. You're in charge. It's all good. Anger's, I'm not about negativity anymore. And he goes, I'm happy you're in charge. She goes, good. Namaste. And he's like, you want to dance? She goes, dude, no. Tahani wants to leave. Jason has a little pet he's hanging out with. He goes, there's dolphins, a game of Hungry Hippos with hippos. This party's way better than ours. Oh, that's why you're not happy. She goes, you can stay. And she goes, I'm going to have a pity party. I might not be able to throw that. Michael goes into his office with Eleanor and Chidi, and he's dancing. Eleanor has a stack of books. You want to hit the clubs, Vegas, Dubai. And, this is when he's drinking Red Bull. And Eleanor's like, maybe you should wind down. He goes, can't stop moving. If I do, then I'll start thinking. And once I start thinking about that stuff, oh boy, too late. Thinking about it now. He goes, I was going to do some samba. Let's samba. And Eleanor goes, we got to pick a book to get him back to normal. She just says, it's not that easy. He's all over the map. They actually are sambaing. I didn't notice that before. Not sure a book can solve this. Eleanor goes, I dealt with it. And she goes, are you sure you didn't ever think about this stuff in a deeper way? And then they zoom on her face. And she's in a Bed Bath and Beyond. And she sees a four-person toothbrush holder. Who needs 4 toothbrushes? Family, Greg from Bed Bath & Beyond says. And she goes, oh, whole family together. Very nuclear. And she gets down. Greg's trying to help her. And she says she gets sad. And she goes, oh, those toothbrushes are close together. They could probably talk to one another about stuff. And hold one another and, be there for one another. Greg's like, oh boy. And then she starts crying into a toilet plunger, which is unbelievably amazing. And he goes, we have tissues. And she goes, yeah. And then she goes, a family pack of tissues. And she cries into the plunger again. Oxo plunger too, I think. Same one I have at home. When I plunge, I use an Oxo plunge. When I plunge, it's Oxo plunger. I plunge with it. Anyway, she says, Michael, you're learning to be human. And, that's part of that. It's a big farm. And it causes a lot of feelings. And that's part of being human, those feelings. He goes, well, that's garbage. Crushes his Red Bull. She goes, yeah, but this is the deal. That's humanity. It's sometimes you feel an S to the A to the D. And she goes, I've been there. Everybody's been there. But Greg from Bed Bath & Beyond once said, cry all you want, but you're going to have to buy that plunger. And she stands up. Michael glares. Jason tries to get feed to Hani. She's kind of sitting there. And her dress perfectly matches some of the decor. Beautiful balloons, really great looking party. She goes, I thought I could out party plan all powerful beings, but that kind of says more about me than them, huh? And she goes, I guess it worked. Am I really that shallow? And Jason gives another dance. He goes, in Jacksonville, I was in charge of a 60-person dance crew. We had when we auditioned a new dancer, I'm going to quote all this because it's really good. We would rate them when we auditioned in 5 categories. What do we got here? Dancing ability, coolness, dopeness, freshness, and smart-brained. I don't know, is that one? And he goes, I give you an 8 in every category. She goes, 8 isn't bad. He goes, 8's the best. On a scale of 1 to 13, 8 was the highest. He goes, it went up and then back down again. And he goes, so lately you've been down on yourself. He goes, you're really amazing. And most amazing person I've met besides Michael. And he was kind of like a 10, which is worse than an 8. Tony says, yeah. She goes, that's confusing. He goes, you're cool, you're dope, fresh, smart-brained. I'm guessing you're a good dancer. So you're good at everything. And she's kind of relieved. He goes, you're awesome. Be nicer to yourself. She says, thank you, Jason. From 1-8 to another. They cheers. Then we cut back to Eleanor's. They're going over Michael's notes of how well it's working. And she goes, I brought you back from that existential thing. And he goes, we'll have to embellish your reports so Vicky doesn't catch on. I'm grateful you pulled me out of my funk, though. And then Chidi says, okay, time to read some Todd May. And Eleanor says, sounds like a great beach read. Where's Tahani and Jason? And we bounce back, and they're in BED, and I'm not talking about, and Jason says, that was awesome. She goes, yeah, well, kind of surprisingly so was. She goes, we should talk about this. And he goes, how about some breakfast? I can make cereal. All right. And she kind of sits there, looks up, and takes a breath, and then says, well, if it worked, it worked. And that's the end of the episode. Let me just see my notes. So, dry car noir, ionize, Jason raises hand from cheeses, Michael and Vicky, Tahani and Jason, she's leaving. Ooh, pity party. Michael Red Bull office slows down, Samba lessons. I was fine. Small zoom on Eleanor, Bed Bath & Beyond. Toothbrushes, family close. Sure, cries into plunger, ahem. Goes to talk to Michael, that's the deal. Michael thinks post-party sadness, another piece of Jason wisdom. Eleanor, Michael, short sleeves, kind of almost a flannel shirt. Michael is grateful. Todd May, I put post-coital. Tahani okay with it? And what does that say? EMH or EMA? I don't know. Oh, and then we roll into episode 5, Trolley Problem. My notes here, let's see. Tackle, model setup, okay, so pause on that. Chalkboard, Jason calls, thought experiment, keep a swiping, iconic trolley, or ironic trolley. I think it's iconic, though. But it's a cable car. Choice, Apple, choice something. Michael has been drawing, voice bubble, great work. Got us all. Oh, so that's Michael's art that he does. Well, so Cheaty's teaching the trolley problem. Michael's not listening. He's drawing like the opposite of what Cheaty's trying to teach. Then Cheaty makes him write on the board, people equal good. Then we go to chapter 19. We zoom up for the trolley. Hang out, smoothie time, cuddle up, who cares? I guess smoothie time's probably, maybe that was my code word. I don't know. Why don't you want anyone to know? Maybe you should talk to someone. Kitchen's full of books, rap, musical, Kierkegaard. I believe in you, nerd boy. But Cheetah was good, I put in his Kierkegaard rap musical. Tahani pacing and very therapist, in a way, therapist, close enough. Oh, that's with Janet. She tries to talk to Janet. I will try. And now I'm done. Janet as therapist, Cheaty, Les Mis, Michael, Easy, all are bad. Did I say Michael has to write humans are good on the board? France equals automatic. Every character in Les Mis went to the bad place and everybody from France, according to Michael. A long time, all of it. Station bread, 17 or negative 17. Oh, stealing bread is negative 17 or negative 20 if it's a baguette. So that was like Aladdin and Jean Valjean. Scarce of Sacre Blue, Victor Hugo. Echelon Duke rule. That's what, that's Tahani's rule for, you got to be a Duke or graduated from better than Duke to hang with Tahani. I did daily with Larry Hemsworth. What are you doing sitting in a room? Jason's side. Eleanor shows up for Cheaty and Michael. No right answer. I just have more than you, so theoretics. Let's try. Snaps fingers. This is all stuff you could see on the Universal Studios tour. Cable car 824. Worker. The station wagon. One of the station wagons we had as a kid. Like with the wood sides. Like a fake wood station wagon in blue. Also a hot dog cart. Movie. Oh, the movies at the movie theater are Strangers on a Train and Bend It Like Beckham. No time. Oh, okay. What did we learn, Ad? Then we have Cheaty Frozen, none of it real. But there have to be stakes, Michael says. Connect with the material more. I'm sorry. Find Henry. He has his boots. They're stuck. Calculate a book. The Ethics Express. Cool ethical speaker. Jason Tahani says Tahani soft and smooth like water balloons. Scented who for classic are backers. Couples therapy question mark. Fern. Floating thumb. This not lady. Something up Cheaty. Dude, what the fork? Eleanor, unethical. Michael gets busted. Old habits. My bad. I was just letting off steam. No longer welcome. Get the fork out. Very Wonka. Cheaty book pause or something. Menu food is words. Eleanor apologizes. No takebacks. Sweaty forehead. Stress grimace. Eleanor, no. I can thread of one. Back to Tahani and Jason. Fresh flowers. Keep it on the DL. You grab my butt, but you do sit in a lot of gum. Frog bark or frog book. Something pause, feet on something. Michael pause, feet on desk. Pulling on Eleanor, lashing out. Classic shell strap, 100% on you. Michael's speech for opposite, process, ship, this, something. Pity balloon guys, pop, he gives everybody gifts. Pikachu balloon. A giant diamond for Tahani. Cheaty. Old notebook of Kant. Cheaty throws it in the trash. That's a bribe, not an apology. Oh, shrimp dispenser. That's what that says. It looks like ship it Dyson Nani. Admit I was wrong. I'm so sorry. I feel so lost and vulnerable. First he says it in a one way, and then he whispers it again. Two-way dancing, I put. Sniff, have a seat. Something, add. Tahani and Jason and Janet. There's a little bit of a shaking. Janet and Michael. We're on the verge of a total collapse here. So that's me. How are you? But that's the main thing. How are you? And I think it ends. So let's run through it from the top here. It says something went wrong. Oh, for some reason my download's gone. Let's try again. Yeah, it's just downloading. It says season 2, episode 5, the trolley problem. Cheaty's frustrated by Michael's inability to understand the principles of human ethics, and Tahani confides in Janet. Looks like there's a total of 12 episodes this season, which would mean we have 1, 2, 3 more episodes after this to record. Is that right? One. Well, but yeah, sometimes the last episodes are longer. I don't know, 12. So 1, 2, 3. Oh no, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is, yeah. So I guess, yeah, we'll see. Okay, so the trolley problem. Here we go. It opens on Eleanor's house. Cheaty's teaching. We're going to tackle the trolley problem. He has Jason's calling pieces. No, we're not playing a board game. This is a kind of model for teaching. Really nice model he has set up right in Eleanor's living room. Okay, he goes, this is a thought experiment. Jason makes a great face. Philippa Foot, 1967. And he explains how it works. There's also great stuff on the chalkboard that I didn't, Chidi's like, okay, which track would you choose? And Eleanor raises her hand. She's asking, for more information, beginning of thinking in an experimental way, I would say. She's like, yeah, keep swiping, to somebody maybe she had a conflict with. Chidi says, no one like that. And Tahani says, I've been on an ironic trolley. And Chidi says, okay, what about other things? How does it change? What if, what do you think? What if it's not a trolley? And Michael's acting like he's paying attention. And then he just shows this great drawing he made, like I said earlier, that says, hey, great job, Michael. You, fixed it in the worst way possible. Looks like there's some broccoli on, like a broccoli sculpture on Eleanor's thing. And great use of color, too. There's very little color except where to make points on Michael's saying. Everybody stares at him. Says, yeah, write it 10 more times. Humans are good. Or people equal good. People equal good. Then the episode opens. Chapter 19, we see that Jason's like, oh, I got to go. Eleanor says, you don't want to hang? And they say, no, we got to go deal with something. That sounds fun. But we're going to get ahead on our homework. Jason, do you care to join? Sure, dog. And it's totally bad acting. Yeah, then they're in a post-snuggle time. Tahani's like, Eleanor might be catching on. Did you tell her anything? And Jason goes, no, but why would it matter? And she goes, I like how you refer to our love making. And he goes, who cares? And he goes, maybe you should talk to a friend about it. And she goes, but then they would know we're together. And he goes, yeah. And then you could talk to them about why you don't want anybody to know we're together. And she goes, but I don't want anybody to know. And Jason says, well, isn't that weird that you don't want anybody to know and you don't want to talk to anybody about it? Eleanor says, hey, Teach, how's it going? Chidi's trying to get, rack his brain. He goes, maybe a Kierkegaard rap musical would get through to him. Terrible idea. He throws it out. He does a few bars from it. And he goes, I don't know how you're going to teach him to be good. It's like teaching me not to be so gorgeous. And she goes, it's not possible. Gurp, gurp, gurp. And she goes, I'm sorry. And then she says, I believe in you, nerd boy. If you can teach me and Jason ethics, you can teach anybody. And he goes, that's definitely a no. Let me give you a sample now. My writing is impeccable. Teleological suspension on the ethical. She goes, nope. Tahani's pacing. She says, Janet, she goes, if I tell you something personal, you can't tell anybody, right? And she goes, well, that's like a therapist. She goes, no, a therapist is trained somebody, medical professional, ability to absorb and process complex ideas. I'm just a vessel with all the knowledge in the universe. She goes, close enough. Jason and I are sleeping together. Normally, this is just a situational. Normally, I wouldn't do this. But she goes, maybe you can help me with this. And she goes, well, I'm here to make your experience more enjoyable. I'll try to help you. I'm going to need some time to read every book written about psychotherapy. She does that in about 1 second. Let's begin. She already has a steno pad in her hand, and then she was on glasses. Chidi goes to talk to Michael about the homework assignment of the ethics of Les Mis. And that's where they cover the stuff about the bread and stuff like that. Chidi's in a blue Oxford, top buttons unbuttoned, not a button down collar, which really looks good on him. and then khaki pants, webbed belt, or maybe whatever that's called. I can't think of it. Not webbed belt. A braided belt? Is that what it's called? The old braided belt. Michael has a pink Oxford, and then one of his more speckled ties with a different shade of pink, and then like a poppin' blue, and then a pink pocket square that matches his shirt. But the tie really pops. And they're going back and forth, about Victor Hugo and everything. Also, like, if you look at the frames of their glasses, Michael has a thinner frame. Chidi has a little bit thicker frame. Then we hop back to Janet and Tahani. Tahani's pretty relaxed. She's leaning back. Janet's leaning forward. Oh, no, she's leaning back, too, on her side. Dallied below my station. Non-famous Hemsworth, Larry. And, Jason's not, Jason rolls in. What are you guys doing? Sitting in a room? That's cool. What are you doing? Sitting in a room? That's cool. Well, talking about our relationship with Janet. Janet says, okay, let me hear Jason's side. Nah, I'll talk for him. He thinks I have to control everything. And she goes, okay. And then she's like, I'll leave, Jason, and you can talk to her. Eleanor walks in on the trolley problem discussion with Michael. And he goes, why don't you just tell me the right answer? Chidi goes, there is no right answer. And Michael goes, this is why I no one likes philosophy then. And Eleanor goes, yeah. He goes, Michael, trust me. I know more than you about human ethics. And that's where Michael takes it too far. He says, well, prove it to me. Let's take it out of theoretical and into a concrete approach. And he snaps his fingers around the trolley. Oh, goodness, Michael. What did you do? Made the trolley problem real. Let's see how this plays out. They're on the Universal Studios back lot. Most of the cars are older, like 50s cars, and then maybe even a 30s, and then some 80s cars. Chidi's trying to control the cable car. And he doesn't do anything the first time. He's too busy thinking. And trolley stops. What did we learn? Go back, go to commercial, come back. They say, Chidi, let's talk this out. He goes, what are we thinking? And Eleanor goes, he's probably just stressed right now. He goes, it's just a simulation. Chidi goes, that's reassuring. Michael goes, well, there's real stakes, even though it's a simulation. And Eleanor says, what about the classroom? Well, we're in the classroom, kind of. But we're also not really. And they say, don't worry, none of it's real. Oh, that's where I covered that, yeah. It is real, but it isn't. We have to take this out of a thought experiment. And he goes, you asked me if I could connect with the material more, and now I'm doing it. So don't shame me. I'm trying. And she goes, okay, I do want to help you understand this. He goes, okay, let's go again. They go again. Maybe we'd discuss it. Nope, you got to figure this out now, Chidi. Quick, what's your decision? Okay. I'll go down the one track. And he goes, oh, I forgot to tell you, your boot buddy, your boot brother Henry's there in his boots. Nice trolley. His giant boots are stuck in the track, one of the heels. And so that goes, Chidi catches the boot. We see it's called the Ethics Express. And Michael goes, okay. And Eleanor's like, is that really how it would go down? Ethically speaking, Jason's talking to Janet. He's kicked back. We kind of see there's potted plants in the room, vases, very fancy, even a dresser. She says, Jason says, why, how come if I'm not a scientist who forecloses on banks, I don't matter? Tahani can't take it, so she comes in. She goes, what about couples therapy? Oh, this is the bedroom. I didn't realize it's so big a room. that there's a couch and a chair in the bedroom. And this is when Janet's thumb starts to float. Small glitch, but if I'm helping you guys, that's fine. Whatnot lady has a thumb and wants to help you. Go back to the Ethics Express. Okay, that was number 7. 5 William Shakespeare's instead of Santa. That's interesting. And Eleanor says, this doesn't seem like it seems like we've taken this as far as it'll go. Okay, Michael says. He goes, so let's go to this amphitheater where everybody's watching. And he goes, this one's different. And she goes, well, let me think about it. I got the Hippocratic Oath here, so at least I know how to behave here. And Michael's like, come on, Chidi. And he goes, no, this one's easy. No Hippocratic, that makes it ethical. And Michael goes, okay, one more wrinkle. We're going to tell everybody then. And a little kid goes up to Chidi, says, how are things going, Dr. Chidi? And there's a trolley problem. Chidi goes, you got to be kidding me. And Michael goes, I'm finding this helpful. Really starting to get it. Eleanor's thinking in the background, and her eyes narrow. And she's about to, then she steps forward. She goes, Michael. And she goes, you don't care about ethics right now. You're just going back to your old habits. And he goes, yeah. He laughs hysterically, grabs Chidi's shoulders. Sorry, old habits. And she goes, is this supposed to be funny? Because it's not funny to me. And he goes, come on, man, my bad. I'm still on your team. I just need to let off some steam. They go back to the kitchen. And Michael or Chidi's like, you need us. And we need you. But he goes, what are you doing? He goes, you know what? Get out of my class. Get the fork out. He sits down even for his final, get the fork out, just like Wonka would. They cut to a commercial. They go back. Eleanor talks to Chidi, who's now outside reading in a very stiff manner. Really upset. He's reading Kierkegaard. Oh, no, concentrating on a table of contents. It's like a menu, but the food is words. Eleanor says, interesting. Can't believe I thought Michael wanted to learn. Really, he was just up to no good. Using the thing I love against me. Woven belts. She said that. I never noticed that. Sorry, Chidi. I made him take the class. He goes, yeah, not your fault. He goes, yeah, I don't think he can change. This might be part of his plan. Maybe he never intended to learn. There's also a Chidi's nameplate on the desk. He's smudging up my glasses with my forehead stress grease. Eleanor says, no, I don't think it's true. And he goes, well, why is he behaving this way? She goes, I think of one. Professor Anagonye. And we see Tahani and Janet and Jason again. What do you value about Jason? Well, he's thoughtful. He picks flowers and brings them to me. Flowers I just planted. He goes, yeah, those are fresh ones. He's the least he's got confidence, not self-aware, and he's pretty good in the old bedroom. And he goes, I'm nice to you. You're mean to me. He goes, I can't put my finger on that. It's not working, though. She goes, I like you, but I can't change all at once. She goes, can you give me a little more time? He goes, yeah, if you grab my butt in public, in a sneaky way, act like you're grabbing the gum off my butt. She's trying not to laugh. She goes, you do sit in a lot of gum. They kiss. Janet says she's happy for them, but then that's when a frog comes out. And she says, wait a second. Michael's feet are on his desk. Chidi can't take a joke. That's his problem. And Eleanor gets irritated. She goes, this isn't about Chidi and you joking on him. This is about you. You're pulling an Eleanor. And he goes, which one? And she goes, rebelling because you feel uncomfortable, basically. This isn't funny. Lashing out when you feel like a failure. You couldn't hack it. Now you're taking it on the teacher. Michael goes, I can see in 9 dimensions. And he goes, so she goes, yeah, you can insult me all you want. Another shell strap move, but I'm right. Michael says, whatever. Chidi will get over it. Yeah, and she goes, yep, that's another one. Letting the other person be the grown-up. And she goes, we're pretty similar. And she goes, this is on you to make it up to him. And she leaves. Michael thinks about it. Then he says, I apologize. I'm owning it. I'm supposed to be superior. Ought to act like one. So I thought about each one of you. Got you something that'll make you happy. Like presents. He goes, oh, that sounds good. I like how that sounds. Tahani, giant diamond. And he goes, I don't know what the big deal about diamonds is, but carbon molecules. So she goes, oh, boy. She's happy. Eleanor, never-ending shrimp dispensary. It's like a soda machine. Shrimp comes out of the ice thing, and then there's sauces. What do we got? I can't. Circus sauce, something blast, sriracha, garlic, mystery flavor, Cajun, Cool Ranch, and maybe one more, maybe avocado. Pikachu balloon that Jason can't believe, but he pops it by accident, and Chidi. Tough nut to crack, but I figured it out. This is a notebook of Immanuel Kant's that no one's ever seen. It was his musings or whatever. Oh, it's a replica. He goes, this is rare. Chidi's kind of, goes, so he's even doodles. He's interesting. Chidi takes a Chidi takes a deep breath, takes a book, cool, tosses in the trash, not interested. And he goes, it can't be bought. Mike goes, what do you want? Me to give you a golden nameplate? Diamond bigger than Tahani's? No, please. And he goes, I don't want anything. Oh, sorry. Maybe I should have just told you. So first he does like the aggressive fake apology to realize it to himself. Then he does a quiet, real apology and about feeling lost and vulnerable. And Chidi just says, yeah, your shoulders are a little bit slumped, but in like a way, I'm open to hear what you have to say. And he kind of just looks at Michael, nods. Yeah, it made me feel insecure. I lashed out. I feel so lost and vulnerable. Chidi kind of smiles. He says, have a seat. Michael sniffles. Eleanor says, don't try the mystery flavor. It's white chocolate and not good with shrimp. But she has a little more. Then we go back to Tahani's mansion. They thank Janet for all the therapy. She goes, I'm very happy for both of you. But she's not really, because then everything shakes. She goes, okay, bye. Michael's office is shaking. And they go in there, or Janet goes in there. Hi. He goes, what's going on? What's wrong? I'm wrong. I got a glitch or something. Don't know what it is. Not good for the neighborhood. So that's what's going on with me. How are you? And the episode comes to a close until next week. Which is pretty good. So we'll see you soon. Good night, everybody. All right, everybody. I want to thank all the listeners who became patrons recently and help support the show on an ongoing basis, for the sleep the show provides for them. I want to thank Tori, Marie Michelle, and Whitney. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Nicole, Stuart, and Doreen. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Penny, Rachel, and Teresa. Thanks, and good night. Nestlehan, Kim in CVTV, thank you, thanks, and good night. Simon, Susan, and Helen, thank you, thanks, and good night. Dixie, Lane, and Aaron, thank you, thanks, and good night. Cam, Michelle, and Erica, thank you, thanks, and good night. Zell, Rosie, and Brooke, thank you, thanks, and good night. Kelly, Katie, and Hope, thanks, and good night. Seneca, Jay, and Mary, thanks, and good night. George, Renee, and Tyler, thanks, good night. SG, Darcel, and Audrey, thank you, thanks, and good night. Lawrence, Andy, and Courtney, thank you, thanks, and good night. Lauren and Erica, thank you, thanks, and good night. And Rory and Nisa, thank you, thanks, and good night. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the show directly on Patreon, supporting our sponsors. That's how we come to you free twice a week. And then, what else did I forget? How do we get, we grow as a podcast by people just spreading the word about podcasting in general. So I appreciate that. And then, I'll tell you more about our referral program coming up here. Thanks so much. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots with a tuck you in message here for our bedtime story podcast. We're trying out, and I kind of said this, free way to support Sleep With Me and bedtime stories from Sleep With Me is join our referral program, sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer, R-E-F-E-R. You get rewarded for introducing people to free version of Sleep With Me, including access to Sleep With Me Plus. But most of all, just think about what your favorite podcast is or one of your favorite podcasts, and then support that podcast. It doesn't have to be Sleep With Me, but just to support your favorite podcast, because they could use your support right now. And if you decide, Sleep With Me is actually my favorite podcast, wow, I'm blushing, seriously, even though it's imaginary here in this context, and support it at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Or listen to a show you love and see how they want to be supported. Thanks.